I've recently installed this sexy strip, and yes, it is called the sexy strip, in my Tesla Model Y. And in this video, I'm going to show you what I like about the product and what I dislike about the product, because there are a few things where I think they can make some improvements. Hopefully that will all be done in the software on the app. But anyway, I'll put timestamps and chapters along the bottom of the screen so you can jump to the relevant sections, because I'm also going to submit this to Enhanced, who make the product, so they can see my ideas to improve the product even further. So first off, I think I'll just explain what this sexy strip is, because this isn't just your normal stick-on LED light bar that you would buy on AliExpress. This one is smart and it has an app, but it talks to the Tesla. So what that means is when you do things like put your indicator on, the light bar reacts to what the car is doing. And that's not just for the indicators, but that's also things like autopilot, charging, Sentry mode, and all sorts of other functions. And then in the app, you can customize what the light bar does. You can obviously change the color, and there's various different colors and customizations. You can make it any color you like, and you can customize the brightness, and then you can customize all the different functionalities and how it talks to the car. So you've got blind spot monitoring, turn signals, autopilot, acceleration mode, the greeting animation, charging, speed limit, Sentry, and battery preconditioning. And all of that does make the LED light bar feel like it's an integral part of the car, and it's not just a stuck-on accessory. So after having this in the car for a few days now and having a good play with all the options in the app, I feel like now's the time to make this video to show what I like about the sexy strip and what I dislike, and make some suggestions that maybe they could improve this product further and add a few other features to the app. One feature I do like is when you put the car onto autopilot and you get your blue lines here on the screen, you can configure the strip so it's also blue to match the screen, and it reminds you you're in autopilot. And then when you start to get the warning up here to remind you to touch the steering wheel, the light bar flashes as well. The main reason why I bought the sexy strip is for this function, which is about to come on, and that is blind spot monitoring. So it's gone red because there is that truck there in my blind spot. And that's adding a new feature into the legacy Teslas, because we don't have a blind spot LED near our mirrors. But of course we do have it here when we've got the indicator on. And this real-time blind spot monitoring, even without the indicator on it, is the best feature of this sexy strip. And when the car is charging, you can have this animation, which replicates what you get on the screen here, showing the energy going into the car. And the animation is showing the charge rate, and this is showing your battery state of charge. So as the battery fills up, more of the light bar will become solid, showing your batteries filling up. So now let's talk about the negatives, or where I think this product could be improved. And the first off is sort of installation. So I stuck this on using the supplied alignment tool. The issue is, as you can see at the bottom, it's not sticking, and the LED is dropping down there, and I have to keep pushing that up. And I don't think it's because the adhesive didn't stick well enough. Well, I suppose ultimately that's what the issue is, but I think it's because of the cable here. The cable is putting strain on there and pulling that end down. So if that cable was flatter, maybe a flat cable would be ideal, because then it wouldn't be visible, because that's the other issue, is this is all visible. But I think if this joint here where the cable attaches to the LED strip wasn't so thick, it wouldn't be putting so much force downwards on the self-adhesive strip. Because that's one thing which is really letting it down, is that it's constantly sagging just here. And also, this cable is visible from the driver's seat, and this could be improved. I think if there was a right angle going inwards at the point it attaches to the LED strip, then that would push the cable to the back here more, and it wouldn't quite be so visible. And also, if that cable was flatter, like a flat cable would help, because it could be stuck to the underside of here and then it really wouldn't be visible. And if this joint between the cable and the LED strip was thinner, because there's quite a lot of bulk to that, it would all stop it being visible. So I think that could be improved, because that does let it down a little bit. And it may well help with this issue of putting too much force on the end of the strip and pulling that adhesive strip down. So next, the big issue I've got with this sexy strip is the reflections at night. Reflections at the top of the screen and reflections in your side window. So there's two things which will have a big impact on reflections at night, and that is your brightness, but I've got mine at -40, so the LED strip is as dim as it could possibly be. And the next is how far in you stick this into the dash, well, into the vent here. And I installed it using their supplied tool, and that recesses it by 3mm or so, something like that, that little gap there. However, you can 3D print a deeper version of this tool, which will set the LED strip further into the dash. But I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference on the reflections, because this light is reflecting down onto this surface at night, and that is what I'm seeing at the top of the windscreen. It's not the LED strip itself, it's the reflections on the satin plastic here. It may be different on the side window. Those might be reflections from the LED strip itself. So setting the LED strip back a little bit may stop the reflections in the side window. But ultimately, I think to reduce the reflections, we just need to be able to dim the light even more. So it could be that -40 is as dim as they can make that LED. Quite possibly if they go lower, they might just turn off or flicker or something. But if that isn't the case, if they could make this go lower, then that would certainly help at night. The other option you got in the app is at night you could turn this to effects only, so your LED is off until there is an effect to display, like the indicator there. The issue with that though is you've got to manually toggle it back on when you want it on during the day. So a good solution for this, I think, would be to have a day and a night mode within the app. So by day you could have the brightness up a bit higher, and you could have it so the LED is on all the time. And then you could have a night mode where you could change this brightness down completely, and you could maybe have the LED off as well, but at least then the whole thing will be automated. And also at night you could have some of these animations turned off, which might get annoying when you're driving in the dark. But ultimately, I think the brightness configurations need a bit of work if indeed the LED can physically go dimmer. So in the app, you can go to custom and you can adjust the brightness of the LED there and set your preferred default, or you can go to auto, and this is where it's going to use the brightness of the Tesla screen here. And this is where you can set an offset. So I've got it set to -40, which is as low as it can go. So during the day, the brightness I think is about right at -40. And then at night, when the screen is down to the dimmest, that LED is still pretty bright. As you can see during the day, it's still very visible. But that's as best you can get. -40 on there is as low as it can go. It can go from -40 to +40. But this auto offset works really well. So if auto is turned on the car, the LED brightness is going to adjust with the ambient light. So now the car is turning the screen up, and it's also turning up the brightness of the LED. So that function is absolutely brilliant. All I'd like is that offset to be able to go a bit lower so we can dim this down even further. Another thing I'd like is to be able to adjust how much of the LED strip is used in the animations. So at the moment, animations like your indicators or the blind spot monitoring is using 50% of the light strip. And that is obviously depending whether the action is needed on that side of the car or that side of the car. But it would be nice if you could configure how much of the LED strip is used for the animation, so it's not so overpowering. It'd be nice if we could knock it down to a third or maybe a quarter, or even better, a percentage. And again, that would help at night if you don't want this LED strip to be too overpowering when it's dark. And here I've got the blind spot monitoring animation on, and it would be nice if you could configure this so it was just a section in the corner, whether it would be the left or right hand of the side of the car, obviously, rather than the whole 50% of the strip. But if we had those day and night modes within the app with a separate configuration profile for each, then of course we could customize this. It will keep everyone happy, and you could make that LED strip do exactly what you want during the night, or even turn it off and just have minimal notifications. But also during the winter, of course, we drive at night a lot more, and that's where it gets a bit of a pain. In the summer, we hardly drive at night, so I think in its current form, this app works great for summer driving, but it's not quite so good for winter driving. So one additional light effect, which would be quite nice, is when you come up behind a car like that and the front collision warning comes on, maybe the LED could light up red as well. The other issue I have with it is blind spot monitoring at night when you're driving on a single carriage road like this. But it doesn't seem to happen during the day. So maybe it's a way that the system or the Tesla is seeing other cars at night. But I was driving along this road at night and nothing was overtaking me. The traffic was coming from that way, as indeed it is now. And the blind spot monitoring kept flashing red very quickly, wasn't staying on red, but it was detecting cars at the back of the car and flashing it. And at night that red flash was really bright and annoying because it shouldn't be coming on. But now during the day on the same bit of road, the LED strip isn't flashing up the blind spot monitoring at all. So it's clearly an issue with how vehicles are detected at night. So obviously that's the car doing that and not the sexy strip. So maybe they could program in an option that at night you had a half-second delay before the light flash, something like that, and that would stop that issue completely, I think. So obviously all of this could be fixed with a software update on the Enhanced app, and I hope Enhanced get a chance to see this video and have a look at my suggestions. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if you agree or got any other ideas, and if you found this video useful, please do click the thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel. If you want to know more about the Tesla Model Y, in the video description below is a link to a playlist where you can see other videos I've made. I'll also put links to the other videos I've made on installing the sexy strip, and I'll see you on the next video. The videos I make on this channel are primarily to help others and share knowledge. If you found a video helpful, please show your appreciation by at least clicking the thumbs up button, and leaving a comment also helps too, as does subscribing to the channel. All of this is free of charge. I do not use paid memberships or Patreon, which is how most YouTubers earn their money. I only earn from the YouTube ad commissions. But under every video on this channel is a super thanks button. So if you found a video particularly useful, or maybe it saved you money or time, then please consider a donation using the super thanks button. You could buy me a coffee, a pint, or contribute to the running cost of this channel. There's over 1100 videos on this channel now, so please have a browse, use the search, and have a look at the playlists.